and the great thing about it is now that one's done. Sunday's a day for you to put the previous game behind you, no matter if it was good or bad. And we did that, and now our focus shifts. If you walk around this building, our focus has shifted to Tennessee State and the things that we have to do to continue, to be successful and have games like we did last Saturday. And the biggest thing that we focus on now as a team, when we talked yesterday, was we got the celebration out of our system a little bit. There's one more round of applause for everybody on the effort that they had for Saturday's win, and now we've kind of moved that focus to the work involved in trying to duplicate that. And I think that's the biggest thing that we've had to do as a football team is the end result is not what we're after, okay? And the end result is not what we're talking about. It's not about having another ranked opponent in here on Saturday, another opportunity at a horseshoe game, putting a horseshoe on our wall for a big win. The focus becomes the work, and a lot of people, they throw the process word, obviously that's a Sabanism or whatever, but for us you've got to be focused on the work. It's not about Saturday, it's about what you have to do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday leading up to Saturday, and we're bombarding our kids with that. We've got all kinds of quotes, Phil Jackson quotes, guys who, Chicago Bulls and their great run of success, and just different teams like that. Even we went as far as Steve Jobs and Apple. How they stay success. Is sustainable success is what we're after. And our focus and the way that I think we go about that is being 100% locked in and committed to the work that we have to put in this week. And if we do that, then Saturday will take care of itself. I think that being successful on Saturday is just a byproduct of what you're going to do and what this football has to do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday, getting ready for Saturday.
Coach, what was changing defensively between the first quarter and the second quarter? Because even with Kimball in, you guys got back-to-back 3-and-outs and really started to move the ball against them.
Yeah, I don't. I'll be honest with you. I talked with Coach Boone Sunday, and he said, defensively, we might as well have not even practiced last week, because nothing that we saw Saturday was they were doing some plays. There were certain plays that they had only ran out of 11 personnel, 12 personnel, 10 personnel, and all of a sudden they run it versus us in 22 personnel, and some things like that. So there were a lot of things that they showed off, and I'm gonna tell you what, man, I tip my hat off to those guys. They've got a heck of a football team, and especially offensively, they do a lot of stuff, and they do a lot of stuff very well. They had a really good plan for us going into that game, and and I think their plan was they were going to break some tendencies. There were a lot of things that they did out of certain personnels, out of certain looks, that they didn't do versus us. They did it completely differently. They did it in different personnels, out of different looks. And we had to scale back some things that we were doing defensively. We wound up in one call defensively about 25, 30 snaps, where we had practiced that call probably 2 or 3 times on Friday just to stay boned up. Hey, man, don't think we're going to need this call, but if we do, everybody good. Let's get us 2 or 3 snaps out of it. Okay, check that off the list. We're good. And we wind up playing a half of the game in that one particular call. So I thought that Coach Boone and the defensive staff did a tremendous job of adjusting and trying to settle in. And obviously I think the biggest thing we did on defense was the turnovers. Okay, creating 6 turnovers, having an opportunity for more turnovers, but also putting hits on the quarterback. I thought that was kind of the crucial and turning point of their offense versus our defense. Was getting the first guy out of there and getting into their backup quarterbacks, and that's what you want to do. Obviously, you're not purposely trying to take people out of the game, but you want to put hits on quarterbacks. That's what everybody's trying to do to my quarterback. That's what we want to do to everybody else's quarterback, is put hits on those guys and give them something to think about. And I think that was ultimately the turning point defensively in that football game for us.
And then your quarterback didn't hit it all.
No. The offensive line, they were our position of the week offensively. Obviously, got 226 yards running the football because you got to take 10 off of JJ's punt fake. I think that was what got us to 236, so I didn't give that to him. But 226 yards rushing the football, and then we threw it 43 times and didn't have one sack, and really and truly, to be honest with you, really didn't get the guy touched in true pass protection. I thought that that was probably what I was most encouraged about, was our pass protection was it wasn't even close. They were locked in. They were very cued in on their responsibilities. He got touched a couple of times on RPOs, on our run-pass options, where we're not truly protecting the guy. But other than that, when we dropped back to throw the ball, he had a lot of time to work.
When you get a win like this, when you come back, do the players kind of get that sense of this, like you said, process that you're trying to have here, that it actually works, and they're actually getting to see like the fruits of their labor when they actually get a win like this on Saturday?
I think so. I hope so. Because that's what you're. It obviously makes my job a lot easier when I go in there on Sundays and I can say, in the past couple of weeks I've been saying, hey man, we're close. Hold fast to what we're doing. Stay. Keep believing in what you're doing. Coaches, keep believing in what you're coaching, man. I know that this is going to work. I know that our practice plan is going to work. I know that our schemes are going to work. And just keep believing. And now all of a sudden it shifts to, I told you so. I told you those things would work. So obviously I think there is a little bit of belief now. Now the question or the concern has to be now that you don't get that successful hangover to where you just automatically think, now you're a young kid and you automatically think, well, we'll just win from here on out. They've got it figured out. Our practice plan works, and we're going to do those same things this week, and it's going to be awesome, and we just automatically are going to win because we did that last week, and it doesn't work that way. And even more so, what I'm trying to do is to get their mindset or their focus off of the win and put it on the work. Is what I'm more concerned with these guys, especially being as young as we are. Put the win out of your mind. Stop focusing on a win this upcoming week and focus on the work. And I think if we do that, then we'll have a chance come Saturday.
Does a victory like this, I don't want to say concern you, but the rest of the conference gets even more difficult, and now they know you guys are capable and are going to get up for the Racers? Is that something that you have to coach your players?
No, I don't think so. I'll be honest with you, man. This we've got we've got a lot of tough games left on our schedule. We've got a ranked opponent in Tennessee State, and then we go to Eastern Kentucky, then we go to Jacksonville State, and then we go to Tennessee Tech. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us. But the great thing about this conference right now, and I don't know, maybe I haven't looked at any polls or anything like that, but I hope this conference isn't getting looked over, because this is a tough conference, and you got a lot of teams that are just beating up on one another right now. And every week, man, when you check those scores, when you get done with your game and you check those scores, man, you never know what's going to happen in this conference. And there's a lot of good football being played in this conference. There's a lot of parallels right now in this conference with the way that people are playing and the scores that you see. So it's making for a very, very fun football season. And I don't know if anything's changed as far as, are people going to get up for us? Obviously, we tell our kids, other people better be doing the same thing that we're doing. No matter who you play, you better get up and you better put the bullseye on that opponent, because you only get one a week, and that's kind of our mindset going into each week. It doesn't matter if we play, a lower division opponent or an FBS opponent. That particular person deserves all of your respect, and it deserves a bullseye on their back, because it's the only one that you get, man. Football it's a great sport because you practice twice as much as you play, and you only get 11 guaranteed opportunities, sometimes 12. And if you waste one of those opportunities because you weren't ready for that opponent, or you weren't prepared for that opponent, or you didn't take that opponent serious enough, then you've wasted one of your 11 or one of your 12, and you never get that back. And I think everybody's going to be the same way that we are, and they're going to put that bullseye on that opponent. whether it be us or whether it be Jacksonville State, it doesn't matter, because that's the only opponent that you get that week, and you got to take them seriously.
I don't know how much you've seen of Tennessee State, but I know from last year, I'm sure you remember Ebenezer Ogadeko, their defensive end.
Yeah, I know him well.
You guys will have him. I noticed he came back against Vanderbilt last week.
Yeah. You know, he's kind of played sparingly. I think he's had a little bit of an injury here and there or whatnot. I know he hasn't played every game, but you know, anybody who knows anything about Tennessee State, they know that it's not one guy that you got to prepare for, man. Their quarterback, they got this Butler at quarterback, and man, he can run around. He can throw it as good as anybody. He's been there for a long time, kind of always been backstage and behind the curtains, and now it's kind of become his time to shine, and man, he's doing a tremendous job. They got weapons all over the place, offensively and defensively. Their lines of scrimmage are really, really big. Their defensive line of scrimmage obviously is big and athletic. You got Ebenezer, who's very scary off the edge. You got to do some things. You know, you've got to be able to help your tackles out on the edge, a little bit in some pass rushes. They've got a lot of athleticism on the back end. They're big and long and fast at receiver. You know, so they're no different than any other Tennessee State team I've ever seen since 2010, since I came into the league. When they take the field, they're going to look like the New York Jets. I mean, they really are. I mean, they're going to look very, very good. Right now, they're playing extremely well. They're playing extremely hard. You know, we got a chance to watch them on TV on the bus ride back from our game playing Vanderbilt. And, you know, that's the big – there were no mismatches. You know, I mean, that's an SEC team. And I don't care whether they're a good SEC team or not so good SEC team. That's an SEC team, and that's one of the premier conferences in the country at the FBS level. And there were no mismatches on that field. There was not one position where you could say, well, Vanderbilt should be dominating them because they're so much bigger, they're so much faster. And that's the concern that you have when you play Tennessee State is from an athletic standpoint, they're as good as you're going to see any week of the season.
Bishop and KD described what it was like from their perspective when the clock went to 0 and you hit upset the 15th ranked team in the nation. What was it like for coaches?
Oh, shoot, it's probably the same way as it was for them. We were, you know, I guess the best way to put it, my wife says she'd never seen so many grown men cry in her life. And it was very fulfilling just because I've talked a lot about this football team and how much I really enjoy these guys, and just enjoy preparing with them, and I enjoy the staff. It's just been very fun, and I know that sounds weird. You're sitting there going, golly, a 2-win season, and it's been very fun, but it really has. It's been very fun with these guys, and for them to finally get a taste, not only a victory, but a victory like that over a ranked opponent. I mean, I think the last time we beat a ranked opponent was in 2014, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And to beat a 15th ranked team like that, you know, it was just, man, that locker room, seeing those guys get a chance to celebrate, man, it was kind of funny. We almost had to teach them how to celebrate. You know, I walked in the locker room and they're sitting there with their hands held and they're waiting for the prayer and everything like we normally do. And you know, we had to get them to loosen up a little bit, you know, but man, what a tremendous feeling for those guys. Just very proud for them, and just well deserved. And I know that any coach could say that about their team, but I really felt like that win was well deserved, and especially the way we did it, man. I guess that, and I should have said that. That was what I was so impressed with and just so encouraged about was, you know, we got down 21-3 before you could say the word sneeze. And it was kind of like, oh my goodness, we had walked into a buzzsaw. But you know, the difference Saturday and the difference with that team was nobody flinched. I don't even know if anybody even knew that we were down 21-3. It's like nobody even looked up at the scoreboard and saw that we were down 21-3. Literally everybody on the sideline just kind of kept their head down and kept their chin down. And just kept working. And then we closed that gap at halftime, and we came in and we said, hey, man, just keep clawing. Keep fighting, keep clawing. I don't even know if I mentioned the score at that time. It was just kind of, hey, keep working at it, keep clawing. We're doing some good things, doing some not so good things. Just keep on working at it. And, you know, and we didn't take the lead over until midway through the fourth quarter when Mario McGraw hit his big long run. That was the first lead of the game. And so to get that win and to do it the way that we did it, I think that's what made it so sweet in the locker room afterwards was, those guys, man, they worked hard for that one, and they deserved that one. And the coaches deserved that one. And I was very happy that they got a chance to taste that.
Big weekend for homecoming with also Frank Beamer and
Yeah.
Proctor coming back.
Yeah.
Especially Humphreys just passing Proctor and the passing records. Like, what do you tell your team this week?
Oh, I don't tell them anything. Homecoming is not for them. It's about them. It's about the team. It's about the program. It's about the guys who put on that jersey and put on the stripes and put on that horse and the horseshoe before them. So it's about them, but it's not for them. So we're going to have a lot of things. Their time will be taken up Friday night, and getting prepared for that football game because, like I said, for us, for the 89 guys that I have on my roster, it's about the work. That's what it's about. It's about the preparations of getting ready for Saturday. But I will say for Racer fans and for alumni coming back and former players, man, it's shaping up to be a great weekend. You got Frank Beamer coming back. You got his team coming back. You got some other guys, a lot of other alumni and former players coming back. Should be a big recruiting weekend for us in a big-time environment. We've got, I think we got about 5,000 golden towels that we're going to have. Kids like to call them swag rags that we're going to give out for people to swing above their head. I'm trying to, Alan, Mr. Ward probably wouldn't like me saying this, but I'm trying to talk Rod Reed into bringing his band up here because they'll bring a bunch more people just to watch them play, and I would love for them to come up here. And just it should be a great day. I think the weather's going to be beautiful, which it doesn't matter if it's raining or sunshine. It's always beautiful on Saturdays. But I think from a fan's perspective, the weather's going to be beautiful. And, and you got two football teams that are going to go out there and compete for 3.5 hours. So, there's nothing, in my mind, there's nothing better to do on a Saturday than to be at Roy Stewart Stadium in the afternoon on an afternoon game for homecoming. A lot of festivities going on. And, man, I'm just extremely excited about the opportunity that we have Saturday.